All right, strap yourselves in, because today we're diving headfirst into Solana
A blockchain platform that's all about speed.
and scalability.
We're going straight to the source for this one
Excerpts from the Solana white paper.
to see what makes it tick.
You can think of this deep dive as your crash course on,
Solana's core innovations,
and especially.
its unique proof of history mechanism
So let's start with a problem.
that Solana tackles head-on
How do you handle time
in a decentralized system.
where there's no single clock everyone agrees on?
Right, in traditional blockchains.
Each node relies on its own local clock.
And those clocks.
Might be a little off from each other.
Yeah, and that can cause,
Confusion.
for sure, confusion and delays.
When you're trying to figure out the order of transactions.
Exactly, like a map
Room full of people,
with watches.
all set to slightly different times.
And you're trying to reconstruct.
A play-by-play of a game.
It'd be chaos.
Total chaos.
That's where Solana's proof of history comes in.
POH for short.
It's like a single, super fast, trustworthy clock.
That the whole network can agree on.
Yeah, so instead of those individual clocks,
Solana has this universal timekeeper.
that eliminates those discrepancies.
But how does it actually work?
Well, the white paper mentions a sequential hashing function.
I'm no cryptography expert.
It's simpler than it sounds.
Break that down for me.
Imagine a chain of digital signatures,
Okay.
each one linked to the one before it,
All right.
and each new signature.
Sounds on the previous one.
Yeah, so you end up with
Chronological record.
that's practically impossible to tamper with,
Like a digital trail of breadcrumbs.
leading back to the very beginning.
Gotcha. So it's like a tamper-proof timeline.
Exactly.
Where each event is linked to the previous one.
Cryptographically linked.
That's pretty clever.
The white paper actually gives this example.
Of adding a photo to this sequence.
Yeah, walk us through that.
Imagine you take a photo.
And you want to prove it existed before a certain point in time. With proof of history, you can basically insert that photo into this chain of signatures
Interesting.
and all the signatures that come after
It'll
it.
depend on the photo's data.
So it's like time-stamping it.
In this unbreakable sequence.
Exactly, so anyone can come along later.
And verify that the photo existed before those signatures were created.
Right.
This could be huge for things like,
Digital rights management.
or proving the authenticity as a document.
For sure, proof of history's applications.
Go way beyond just financial transactions.
It's really about establishing a trustless and verifiable order of events.
This whole super fast clock analogies is really helping me.
Good.
But what's the big deal about this super precise, tamper-proof record of time on a blockchain?
I mean, one of the biggest advantages is speed.
Okay.
Think about it.
If all the nodes agree on the order of events,
They don't have to waste time constantly communicating and verifying timestamps.
so transactions can be confirmed much faster.
Way faster than traditional blockchains.
And that means Solana can handle...
A much higher volume of transactions.
So we're talking...
Thousands of transactions per second.
That's insane. We're talking speeds.
On par with, like, Visa.
It's crazy that proof of history was meant to solve the problem of time,
Right.
but then it ends up impacting...
Speed and scalability, too.
It's like this ripple effect.
It's a testament to how elegant and impactful this innovation is.
It tackles a fundamental challenge.
And it unlocks all these advantages.
Now, generating this proof of history sequence sounds pretty sequential.
It is.
But what about verifying it?
Ah, that's the cool part.
Checking each signature one by one would take forever.
Well, generating the POH sequence is sequential, but verifying it can be done in parallel.
Okay, I'm listening.
Like having a team of experts
Each verifying a different section.
at the same time.
So multiple processors can work on different chunks of the sequence simultaneously,
Exactly.
making verification much faster.
And Solana's designed to take advantage of that.
All that modern hardware with multiple cores
So yeah, this parallel verification process.
becomes incredibly efficient.
Very much so.
So we've got this super fast clock,
Generating a verifiable timeline.
and then this army of processors.
Double-checking everything in record time.
It sounds like the foundation for something truly high performance.
It certainly is. Proof of history really sets the stage for everything else Solana can do.
All right, so we've established how Solana keeps track of time.
Right?
But how does it ensure the network itself remains secure and trustworthy?
That's where proof of stake comes in.
Okay, we'll explore that next
We're
time.
getting hard to it.
But any initial thoughts on what we've covered so far?
What do you think?
Honestly, I'm blown away by proof of history.
It's a pretty cool concept.
It's like solving a Sudoku puzzle, but instead of numbers,
You're using cryptography.
yeah, to create this unbreakable chain of events.
It's brilliant.
It's such a clever solution to a complex problem.
I agree.
But you're right, let's dive into proof of stake next time.
and see how that contributes to Solana's security.
I can't
This
wait.
is going to be good.
Welcome back.
All right.
Last time,
We explored how Solana tackles the challenge of time,
with its proof of history mechanism,
like having a global synchronized clock.
ensuring everyone agrees on the order of events on the blockchain.
Exactly, and that verifiable timeline sets the stage for Solana's security model.
Which brings us to proof of stake.
Right.
Now, what exactly does it mean?
To have a stake in a network.
Yeah, I was wondering that.
Well, imagine you really believe in Solana,
Okay.
and you decide to buy some of its cryptocurrency, SOL,
All right.
by holding SOL,
You basically own a piece of the network.
a piece of the pie.
The more SOL you hold,
The bigger your stake.
the more influence you have.
Exactly.
But it's
yeah.
not just about influence, right?
You also have responsibility
Yeah.
in Solana's proof-of-stake system.
Those who hold SOL can become validators.
Right.
Validators, what are those?
They're like the guardians of the network.
Keeping everything running smoothly.
They check the transactions.
Proposed by the leader node.
The one generating that proof of history sequence,
Okay.
and they vote on whether those transactions are valid or not,
Like a decentralized security force.
preventing any funny business.
But how do they become validators?
Do they just volunteer?
I was thinking that.
It's not quite that simple.
Okay.
Becoming a validator requires you to bond some of your SOL
Like a security deposit.
to show you're serious about playing by the rules.
So your stake is literally on the line.
Yeah,
This incentivizes validators to act honestly.
because they have something to lose.
Makes sense, but what if a validator tries to cheat?
Or disrupt the network.
What happens then?
That's where slashing comes in.
Slash.
If a validator is caught acting maliciously,
They risk losing a portion of their bonded SOL.
or even all of it,
That's a pretty strong deterrent.
for sure, it's a powerful system of checks and balances.
Those with a stake in the network.
Have the power to participate in securing it.
But they're also held accountable for their actions.
Right. Yeah, go ahead.
If the validator with the most SOL always gets to be the leader,
Interesting question.
wouldn't that give them too much power?
You're right to prevent that.
Solana uses something called leader rotation.
Exactly.
So the leadership role shifts periodically,
Giving other validators a chance.
ensuring power is distributed more evenly.
And no single entity.
Can control the network.
It's all about balance.
But it's not just about who's the leader, right?
Right.
It's also about how validators vote.
Absolutely.
Tell me more about the voting process.
Okay.
It can't just be a simple yes or no.
You're right. It's a bit more nuanced.
Okay, I'm listening.
When a validator votes in Solana,
Their vote actually includes their previous votes as well,
it's like a chain of endorsements.
building upon past decisions.
Exactly. It's not just a single yes or no.
It's a whole history of voting decisions.
Contributing to the overall consensus.
That's clever. Makes it much harder for a validator to manipulate the process.
Right. It adds another layer of security and transparency to the proof of stake mechanism.
Okay, so far, proof of stake sounds pretty solid.
It's a robust system.
But is it foolproof?
Well, every system has potential weaknesses.
Right.
One concern that's often brought up.
Is the nothing at stake problem. Nothing at stake, what's that?
So in proof of stake,
There's theoretically no cost for a validator to vote on multiple blockchain forks. Forks, what are those again?
imagine the blockchain as a tree trunk.
Okay.
A fork is like a branch splitting off.
Creating a separate version of the blockchain.
So a validator could potentially endorse different versions of the blockchain at the same time.
Interesting.
And they haven't really lost anything by doing so.
So they're kind of hedging their bets.
Playing both sides.
That could weaken the consensus process.
It could.
But doesn't slashing prevent that?
To some extent.
Okay.
Slashing makes it risky to actively manipulate a fork.
Right.
But passively voting on multiple forks.
Might not carry the same risk?
It's a potential loophole.
I see.
But Solana is exploring ways to mitigate this problem.
Like what?
One approach is requiring validators to lock up more of their SOL for a longer time.
Increasing the cost of participating in multiple forks.
It's not just about slashing.
It's also about the opportunity cost of tying up their capital.
Exactly.
So it's an ongoing area of research.
In the proof of stake space.
Always evolving.
Absolutely.
So we've got proof of history, keeping track of time.
Right.
Proof of stake, securing the network.
Keeping everything in check.
What other challenges do blockchains face?
One scenario that can be tricky
Is a network partition
when the network gets split up.
into different groups of nodes that can't communicate?
Exactly.
This could happen because of,
Internet outages or deliberate attempts to disrupt the network.
and that can
All
cause,
sorts of problems.
like, conflicting transactions,
Difficulty reaching consensus.
chaos, basically.
So how does Solana deal with that?
This is where proof of history comes in again.
Ah, that verifiable timeline.
Even when the network is partitioned,
Different groups can still refer to that proof of history sequence to figure out the right order of transactions.
even when they're out of touch.
It's a shared ledger everyone can trust.
Okay, so proof of history provides an anchor,
For consensus.
even when things get messy.
It does.
Any other safeguards for partitions?
Solana uses a dynamic approach.
To validator obsolescence. Obsolescence, does that mean kicking validators off the network?
In a way, yes.
So if partition lasts for a while,
Solana can adjust how quickly unavailable validators are removed.
so they don't disrupt things when they come back online,
It's like pruning the network
removing inactive nodes.
during times of instability.
And this rate of obsolescence,
Depends on how bad the partition is.
so if a large part of the network is down,
The system is more cautious.
doesn't want to make rash decisions.
Exactly.
This dynamic approach allows Solana to adapt.
And recover more efficiently.
So Solana anticipates those real-world challenges.
And builds in ways to address them.
Now, you mentioned that partitions could be caused deliberately
Right.
to disrupt the network.
It happens.
This brings us to censorship resistance.
A crucial topic.
Explain that a little more.
It's the ability of a blockchain to prevent
Any single entity from blocking transactions or users.
the cornerstone of a decentralized system.
If someone can control which transactions go through,
It defeats the purpose.
of a permissionless and open network.
Exactly.
So while Solana's proof-of-stake system,
Makes it hard for one entity to control things,
the risk of collusion always exists.
especially among large stakeholders.
So how does Solana protect against censorship?
Well, one approach is managing the inflation rate of SOL tokens
So controlling the rate at which new SOL is created,
to prevent any one group from getting too much voting power.
a built-in counterbalance.
You got it.
And Solana also uses a decentralized governance system,
Right.
allowing token holders to vote on proposals,
That impact the network.
so the community can push back against manipulation.
It's a safety net against centralized control,
It sounds like Solana takes security seriously, addressing not just immediate threats,
but also long-term concerns.
like the impact of quantum computing. Quantum computing, what's that?
Quantum computers are still being developed,
I've heard of them.
but they have the potential to break the encryption.
That protects a lot of current blockchain systems.
It's a potential threat down the line.
That sounds pretty scary.
It's something to be aware of
But Solana is researching quantum-resistant cryptography.
to counter that.
So they're staying ahead of the curve.
Always thinking ahead.
That's reassuring.
We try.
So with all these mechanisms and security measures in place,
What does it all mean for the future?
yeah, what kind of impact could Solana have?
That's the million-dollar question.
And we'll explore that in the final part of our deep dive.
Don't miss it.
All right, welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into Solana.
We've covered a lot of ground so far.
We've talked about how Solana handles time
With proof of history.
and how it keeps the network secure.
Using proof of stake.
But now, I want to zoom out.
See the bigger picture.
What does it all mean for the real world?
How can this technology actually be used?
To solve problems and change industries.
That's where things get really exciting.
I'm all ears.
You see, Solana's architecture.
This combination of proof of history and proof of stake.
It opens up all these possibilities.
That weren't possible before.
With earlier blockchains
Give me some examples.
of how Solana can be used in the real world.
I need to see it to believe it.
One area where Solana really shines is DeFi.
Decentralized finance.
Exactly.
DeFi, remind me what that is again?
Imagine a financial system.
Without banks.
That's the goal of DeFi.
Lending, borrowing, trading,
It's just insurance.
all happening on a blockchain.
Powered by smart contracts.
So you're taking the core functions of finance,
And rebuilding them on a decentralized platform.
transparent and accessible.
Exactly.
But how does Solana fit into all of this?
Remember how we talked about
Solana's speed and scalability,
they're essential for DeFi applications
because they need to handle so many transactions.
with minimal delays,
Imagine a decentralized exchange
where you can trade crypto in real time.
with super low fees.
That's the power of Solana.
That sounds like a game changer.
It could be, and it's not just trading.
Okay, what else?
Think about lending platforms
Where you can earn interest on your crypto,
or borrow against it.
all without a bank.
No credit checks,
This could be huge.
especially in places where people don't have access to traditional financial services.
This could really level the playing field.
Absolutely. And it's not just finance.
What else?
Solana is also making waves in the world of NFTs.
NFTs, non-fungible tokens.
Right.
They've been everywhere lately.
They have.
But honestly, I still don't fully understand them.
Think of an NFT as a digital certificate of ownership.
For what?
For a unique asset, it could be digital art,
Oh,
a collectible, a virtual item in a game.
even a tweet.
Yeah, anything unique and digital.
So it's like a digital deed,
Proving you own something.
even if it only exists online.
Exactly, and because NFTs are unique and verifiable
They've opened up a whole new world.
for artists, creators, and collectors.
But how does Solana come in?
Solana's low fees and fast transaction speeds
Make it perfect for NFTs
imagine buying, selling, or trading digital art instantly.
without those crazy gas fees?
That's Solana.
That would be a dream come true.
And it's already happening.
Solana has a whole NFT ecosystem,
Marketplaces, gaming platforms, virtual worlds.
all built on its blockchain.
It's a thriving community.
Okay, so we have DeFi changing finance,
Right.
NFTs transforming digital ownership.
What's next?
What other industries could benefit from Solana?
The possibilities are endless.
Give me an example
Supply chain management.
where you need to track the movement of goods.
Exactly.
Solana could make that so much more transparent.
And tamper-proof.
We could track everything
From food to medicine,
using Solana,
you could have a record of every step,
from the origin to the delivery,
enhancing transparency, reducing fraud.
improving
Right.
efficiency.
It's a digital trail.
That follows a product from start to finish.
And it's not just supply chains.
Okay, what else?
Identity management, voting systems, even social media.
Anywhere where you need transparency, security, and efficiency.
Solana can deliver.
And Solana is easy for developers to build on.
It's attracting a lot of talented people.
So we can expect even more applications to emerge.
In the coming years.
That's what excites me about blockchain.
It's like a blank canvas.
For innovation.
And Solana's giving people the tools to build the future.
It's truly transformative.
It's still early days, though.
But Solana has a lot going for it.
Speed, scalability, security.
A strong community.
It could be a real game changer.
It seems like Solana has the potential to disrupt so many industries,
It does.
to change the way we interact with technology, finance, each other.
It's a powerful technology.
But there must be challenges too.
There are always challenges.
What hurdles might Solana face in the future?
One of the biggest is regulatory uncertainty.
Governments are still trying to figure out.
How to handle crypto and blockchain.
That lack of clarity can be tough.
For businesses and developers.
It's a waiting game.
Hopefully we'll see more clear guidelines soon.
Another challenge is competition.
The blockchain space is always evolving.
New platforms popping up all the time.
Solana needs to stay ahead of the curve.
And keep innovating.
To remain a leader.
Competition is fierce.
But it also drives progress.
And of course,
There are always technical challenges.
bugs, vulnerabilities, unforeseen issues.
It comes with the territory
It's a reminder that we're still in the early stages.
of blockchain development.
There will be bumps along the way.
But that's part of the journey.
Despite those challenges,
Solana has a lot of momentum.
it has attracted a lot of attention and investment.
Its future looks bright.
Its approach to time and consensus
Its performance and community.
all point to a promising future.
It could be a real turning point for blockchain.
Well, that brings our deep dive into Solana to a close.
I hope you enjoyed it.
We've covered a lot.
From the technical details to the big picture.
We've seen how Solana works.
And what it could mean for the world.
Remember, this deep dive was just the beginning.
Keep exploring Solana.
And a world of blockchain.
Stay curious. Ask questions. Keep learning.
Because this technology is still evolving.
And it has the power to shape our future.
So there you have it, Solana.
The blockchain platform that's all about speed and scalability.
Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you next time.